Why I stopped coloring my hair and embraced going grey at 40. As far as first world problems go, going grey at 40 is up there with the barista misspelling your name on the cup, or the sky deigning to rain on your cottage weekend. To be clear, after a decade of faithful dyeing, I grew weary of the ritual. Every 6 or 7 after my 40th birthday, my greys had upped the stakes. Overnight, they, to my face, friends, and family were flattering. I pulled off the cut. In the outside world, the reaction to my grey was decidedly less nuanced. Overnight, I had, if grey hair marks the end of attention, it also marks an end to the exhaustion. An end to the These women some 10, 20 years my senior were determined. With each passing day after day, I look at my reflection, expecting to see the long-haired brunette. But she is gone now. Related video: the surprising reason women are going grey earlier and how they're embracing it, provided by BUZZ60.